How about a little vid? You want a little vid? Why not? A little bit of vid. We do this old school style. Old school style. How about that? I'm fiddling with temp control. Okay? On the Snow Wolf. Yeah, I'm over here. Idiot. I'm an idiot. And it's quite fun to play with. On the Atlantis, rocking at 450 degrees, 50.5 watts. And I don't believe any of the numbers that show on there when I do what I want to do. I don't believe any of the numbers. They're probably really close, but I don't know. Feeling it throttle back, and it's just not how I normally vape. You take a mech box, and it's just straight voltage, straight wattage, however you want to put it. And it gets hot, and it keeps going until it just can't take no more. And this goes, well, you know what would be a good idea? If we just get you here, and then, I can't make up my mind. Maybe I'll push it a little. No. Then we hit the temp. Oh, here we go. That's exactly how this vapes. Now, the Snow Wolf's wonkiness, as far as Kanthal builds, disappears with, this is the version 1, put that out there. It disappears with TC mode, as far as tanks go. Now, as far as building my own coils and rocking those, I don't see myself buying any wire for it. If you want to send me wire to build a couple, go right ahead, but I don't see myself purchasing any nickel wire to do that. Feels so weird. And I don't really know what the rating is. Really. 50 watts seems really nice. We'll put this back on. It's going to ask me if it's the same thing or not. Hold on. Yeah, here's the same thing. No. New atomizer, yes. No, it's the same thing. Alright, I can crank this up. Oh, that's temperature. We'll keep it at 450. Let's bop her up to 100 watts. Why? Because we can. You're going to vape temperature control on 100 watts? Sure, why not? Yeah, you're over here. Sorry, not used to the phone anymore. Now, it's going to give me this really awesome, holy crap, blast, and then it's just going to go whoosh. Almost instantaneously. But I find it really nice at 100 watts because it blasts it right up to 450, and it seems to hold it at 450 a lot better than at 50 watts, where it goes up. We hit 450, we're going to bring it way. Whoa, wait a minute. And it does that number. At 100 watts, it hits 450 and it throttles back just a little bit, and it kind of just stays there. It just slowly throttles back. Not like at 50 watts. Now, I'm sure there's a limit to what it can do. I'm sure it limits it to say, I don't know, let's say 60, 70 watts in temp mode. This is 150 right now. I haven't tried it at 150 watts. Who is going to vape in Atlantis at 150 watts? Well, with temperature control, it's a whole different ballgame. And it seems to stay up at that heat range a little bit better, actually, at 150 watts. What happens if you go to 200? About the same. Now, I don't know what its limit is as far as all that noise, but let's go up to 480. Some of these can take 480, right? Go up to 480. 480. It says 199 now because you know you got to double click the buttons, the up and down buttons, to go from temperature and wattage. Switch them back and forth. .480 is probably a little bit too warm for what's currently in here. But it hits that 480 like that and just rocks it. Just some fun stuff I'm noticing with playing with temp control today. I thought I'd share with the world. It's so different than putting it on a box mod with a Kenthal build and just rocking it that way. I will say in temp mode, my battery's lasting longer. I noticed that right out of the gate. I'm using my Sonys in here right now. Using my rewrapped Sonys in here right now. And I'm still going. Whereas, even with just the 0.5 Atlantis coil, and this is a 0.15 TC head in here. With the 0.5 Atlantis coil, and I'd be rocking around 25, 30 watts, something like that. I'm getting more life out of it. Out of the batteries in the Snow Wolf, that is. A Kenthal build in the Snow Wolf is just a battery eater. But in temperature mode, I still got half left. Still got half of that bar left. Because when I rock like a 0.2 at half, the battery bar will go empty while I'm vaping. And it only goes to a quarter while I'm vaping. See if you can pick that up. Quarter. See? I don't know. It's kind of how I figured it. I can set my wattage as high as I want. You can set it low too. You set it low and it's not going to reach that temperature. Let's go down to, say, what, 30 watts? You want to do 30 watts? And it's going to struggle and probably not reach the 479 that it is right now. Let's go. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. It's a nice smooth vape. No throttling back because it never hit that temperature. Yeah. 447. So, I don't know, man. It's pretty much exactly how I expected temperature control to go. Let's go to 40, right? We got all these people with DNA 40s. We're rocking them all at 40 watts. And it hits the temperature. And throttles back ever so slightly. So like take a regular Atlantis 0.5 and rock it at 40 watts with, I don't know, this is pretty warm now. So we're going to say 50-50 juice because it's pretty warm right now. And that's how the vape would be without burning it. So at 40 watts, it's just barely throttling back at 479 degrees. I mean, it gets up there, and then it just goes like this and stays. Exactly how I thought it. Am I a fan of using nickel coil heads? Not really. This is turned out to be a much better vape than I thought it was going to be. But am I a fan of putting nickel in me? Not really. Was I a fan of smoking? Yes, so it's a conundrum in itself, really. 4 to 7,000 chemicals, nickel deposits in your lung. I don't know. Not that you're going to get nickel deposits in your lungs. It's just, there's not enough studies out there for using the different wires that we as vapors are trying to use. Titanium, stainless steel, just, I don't know. The debate is still raging on about that, but I thought I would just let you know what I'm experiencing on my first day of using the Snowwolf version 1 with temperature control, in temperature control. It's all right. It doesn't taste any different. I previously had this juice in here, which right now I've got Cosmic Fogs Milk and Honey. Alright, I'll put that out there. Cosmic, it's delightful juice. It really is. A little spendy for my wallet, but it's very delightful juice. And I was running this, and it's like a 70-30, maybe a little higher on the VG, 70 VG. I always say it that way. Maybe a little higher, maybe 80, but that's pushing it. And I was rocking this in the regular 0.5 Kanthal head. It tastes exactly the same. There's no wonky flavor out of this. Nothing. I mean, nothing tastes different to me than when I was rocking it on a Kanthal build. I mean, I got Kanthal right here. And it tastes exactly the same. No weird aroma from the coil, no funky taste, no bitter taste, nothing. Just juice, just good juice. And I don't know, I thought I would share my first day experience rocking TC with everybody. It's been quite interesting, the different ways that it throttles back at different wattages. I've been rocking this at like 50, but after seeing how it acts at 150, I might just leave it at 150. Because it seems to want to throttle back a little bit more. Kind of like when you're driving your car and you're going up a hill, but you can only use half your gas pedal. Okay? And then somebody takes that ball out from underneath the gas pedal, you can step on it and it stays at speed just right. You're not losing any speed, you're not gaining any speed, you're just right there. Perfect. Yeah, I drive an underpowered car. Anyhow. It's working out fantastically. Now, still though, the studies need to be done on the different wires to see what we're actually putting in ourselves when we go to these different wires. But other than that, I have nothing bad to say about it. I thought I would have all sorts of hate towards this, that it would just be throttling back way too much, that the vape would be too cool. No, it's a good vape. It is a really good vape. So if you're thinking about temperature control and you're kind of leery on it, you have good reason to be leery on it, just because we don't know. If you're thinking about temperature control and you're saying to yourself that it's going to be too cool of a vape, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. No, it's not. Should we? I haven't dared to go in the 500 range yet. We'll keep this at 50 watts, 501 degrees. I might burn the head out. Who knows? Changes the flavor of the juice a little bit. So, I don't know, man. The jury is still out, but I'm going to tell you, my first day actually using temperature control, I don't really see anything wrong with it. Other than the wire issue, of course. That's good juice, man. It's just good juice. I do have another device that not device, but tank. I purchased some sub-tank heads also. They are also 0.15. Alright? Now, this bad boy does not like being that high. It will dry out. Probably because the wicking holes on this, well, there's 4 on the Atlantis, so it keeps up just fine. Let's start at 400. Really. New atomizer. Yes. Try it again. Now, it really racks up that sub-tank coil. You can hear it. Yeah, instantaneous. Just racks it right up there. And I just know that I'm going to dry that out at 400 degrees. I just know it. You can taste it. If you've been vaping so long that you know when that dry hit is coming, especially if you drip, or when your tank's getting low or whatever, yeah, you just know it. We're down to 380. Granted, it may be because this is a horizontal coil in here and the Atlantis is the vertical coil, but it's just a whole different experience with the sub-tank. It's like kicking your accelerator all the way down and then letting it way back off, maybe to a quarter throttle right away. I mean, it's just pow! Wait a minute. Like that. And it kind of, yeah, it's really strange in the sub-tank compared to the Atlantis. It's still a good vape, but I, for one, am not used to any devices throttling my vape experience. And even taking this, we'll warm it up for a second, because you know, it's a good build. Warm it up for a second, right? And then kind of doing that whole number. Except I don't know what temp it's at, but the chip in there does. It kind of does that number all by itself and keeps it in that range of whatever temp you set it at. Yeah, pow, 150 watts. Cool, let's do 150 watts. Let's do it. 150 watts at 378 degrees. It's going to be close to the same experience. Right? Like the Atlantis, at 150 watts on here, it is a much smoother vape. The throttling is still there, just like the Atlantis, but it's not as much of a hard push over and over again. Well, you probably heard it. Yeah. Easier to hear in the sub-tank than it is the Atlantis. That's my thoughts with it, guys. It's exactly how it's working out in the Snow Wolf. I don't know if other TC devices are similar. I'm going to guess that they are. I'm sure the technology will be coming out better and better to where it hits that mark and it just stays there. That would be nice if it just and stayed there. Not, well, maybe, oh wait, we can't figure this out, so we're just going to bounce. Don't follow the bouncing ball, folks. Just, you know, it is what it is. That's how it works for now. it's still a really good vape. It is. It's still a really good vape. One skeptic down. Is it just a fad? Maybe it's just a fad. Would I like it more if someone would figure out how to do it with Kenthal so it would be a little cheaper? I don't know if the mods would be cheaper, but it would be a lot cheaper to build your coils. The Kenthal builds would take a lot more algorithms, say that 5 times fast after a couple beers, and may bring the price point up a little bit, but I think it would be well worth it. In my mind, Kenthal still safer, and that's what we're about, safer, harm reduction, right? Harm reduction. We don't need to be adding anything that we don't know what it is. Do you want to vape a fiberglass wick? Well, if you want to vape a fiberglass wick, you go right ahead. What happens when those particles start dispersing and go into your lungs? Great, itchy lungs. We all need that. Just saying, just a comparison, you know? Safer. Alright? You all have fun now. So I know I will.